But enough about the dog.
Yeah.
Welcome to a new video series on the Perfect Balance pod, as it's now known in YouTube handles. Don't know if you saw that on YouTube. They used to have this thing where if you got to 100 subscribers, you actually got to edit your URL.
Oh, okay.
And we were getting very close, and I was very excited. I was like, I'm going to finally get to change the URL from like XYZ, a capital U, number 1, like loads of gibberish, to the Perfect Balance or something like that.
Nice.
And about a week before we finally hit 100 subscribers, they decided to change their way of doing it, and they were like, we're not doing custom URLs anymore. You're going to get like an assigned tag or @ for your channel. Okay. I was like, oh god, did all the work to get there. I've not actually checked what it actually says yet, like when you type in the URL, but I have a feeling I've now lost that, so I will now have this random thing forever. But it's fine. Thank you for 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
Got there!
Yay.
First goal. First milestone on the road to world domination.
Football!
Yeah. But we're not talking about football today.
No.
Because I've realised, I said this to you, I basically run out of friends who are willing to come on and talk shit about football. So I've got you to come on and talk shit about other things.
Yeah.
And that is why I am coming up with this totally unique concept called Room 01382, which is in no way related to Room 101. Or, which is, I didn't tell you this actually, the original idea I got to rip off Room 101 was from a wrestling channel that I watched called Cultaholic.
Okay.
And they had a show called, Straight to Hell. And in the intro, the guy who hosted goes, of course this has nothing to do with Rooms 101, this is a wrestling show and it's nothing to do with the concept of that. But it's a rip, so I thought, I mean, there are no original ideas anymore.
You can't claim intellectual property, can you?
That's it. It's like Disney.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like when they just start ripping stuff off and then they get to copyright it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember when Kylie Jenner tried to copyright her name, Kylie, and Kylie Minogue was like, fuck off.
What, she tried to... Really?
She tried to copyright the name Kylie. Yeah, and Kylie Minogue was like, excuse me. Have you seen Neighbours?
I should... Have you heard of a thing called pop music?
Yeah.
I should do that with Daniel and just claim all the royalties from like the new Weird Al Yankovic movie, exactly. And like get loads of back royalties off J.K. Rowling for the films.
Exactly.
What could you do? What would be? Who's like the most famous Lauren you could profit from?
I don't know.
If you
I don't think there's that many famous Laurens.
Day-Lewis.
I don't know who that is. Genuinely, Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls. There you go.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't know that many famous Laurens. Ralph Lauren.
Yeah?
That's my nickname from Drew and Carl. They call me Ralph because of Ralph Lauren, but I didn't even know for years, so I get called Ralph. Yeah.
But yeah, did you watch any of Room 101 in prep for this?
No.
Or just did you watch the thing I sent you of like top 10 Room 101 things? No, didn't. Thanks for that. I had to copy and paste that link.
Sorry.
But you understand the general concept.
Yeah, I get the concept.
It's basically come and have a moan about things that annoy you. And I get to decide whether or not you're justified, and if I basically all find those things annoying. Okay. And it's just an excuse to have a moan. I mean, you're quite good at doing that.
Oh yeah, I love a moan. Yeah, I'm quite pessimistic by nature, so this comes pretty easy. Yeah.
So what is your first offering to go into Room 01382 as I just stroke your dog, because she is very lovely?
Well, we can start quite highbrow, and then it'll just get progressively worse and more mundane, or we could start from like the shite, and then,
I think we'll leave the shite and then we'll make them earn the shite. Watch all the way through. Get to the petty stuff, which is what we're here for.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go highbrow first, and you know what I'm going to say. Something that I would eradicate from the world, except from my dog barking.
You know what it's going to be.
Is people trying to tell me that the British Empire was a good thing.
England at one point was the largest and most fearsome empire on the planet. I actually think that it was the best empire in the world, not just because it was the largest, because I think it was genuinely the best to live under. If you lived under the British Empire, you had a good life. They turned up and they built roads and schools and monuments and built a railroad. So the British did good for the entire world.
Graphic about the British Empire. What did I text you this morning? I'm looking forward to talking about British imperialism with you, and you're like, oh no, I might not talk about that.
I thought about being really specific, right? Because, well, info about me. I am doing a PhD at the University of Exeter in British decolonisation in Kenya, right? So I study the Mau Mau rebellion in Kenya, British government puts loads of Kenyans in camps because they're fighting back against colonial rule. It's very complicated, but whatever.
And you have a podcast about plug your history podcast.
I do. We have a podcast with the University of Dundee called the Scottish Centre for Global History, and we have PhD students come on and early career researchers and other academics come on and talk about books and various things to do with history.
So this is why I thought, who's the perfect guest for the first episode of Room 01382? Somebody who actually knows how to do a podcast better than me.
In reason.
Yeah.
In reason.
But aye.
But so a lot of the work that I have previously done, so I've currently have 2 degrees and I'm now on my 3rd, all in history. And a lot of the stuff that I've focused on has been about, how British people remember empire, how we...
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
The sun never set.
But, so a lot of the stuff that I have done, people... So it's been I'm quite critical, I'm Scottish, I'm pro-independence, so I have some critical things to say about the British government.
So why do people think it's a good thing, the Empire, looking back on it, for maybe the little they do know? Like, what's the general consensus about what the British Empire was, and then why was that wrong? Why was that a bad thing?
So, obviously, it's really hard to get a consensus on British public history.
As much as you can.
As much as I can, but...
Because I know for a fact you could sit here for 5 hours and talk about it easily.
Generally, I would say in Britain, people either don't know anything about empire or they think predominantly that it was a force for good, and because of our education system and the history that you get taught in school, and also through like public history efforts, so like documentaries, TV coverage, they think that the British colonisers went out to various parts of the world, India, Africa, Southeast Asia, and brought
our
modernism.
way of life.
Yeah,
we improved them.
We improved their lives because they were living in squalor and backward mud huts.
Phrase raging.
Yeah, stop. But British genius could fix it, and this is the great idea of the civilising mission, essentially. And we had to teach these people. Oh my god, she's driving me insane. Go outside then. Go. Typical.
You've just been out, Freya.
She just wants to find out.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, so I think a lot of people just think, British people went out and they built railways. Oh, the railways! I got it in there! And they taught people how to read and to write and how to farm, and just, this is how you should be, and you should love the Queen. Britain is great. Britain is so amazing, but don't ever come here! No!
So when you started looking into all this, were you like in that Mitchell and Webb sketch where like, are we the baddies?
I mean, a little bit. But so to me, like when I went to university and I did a module on African history, I got Matt Graham at Dundee Uni. There were so many things that I did not know, and I couldn't believe that I did not know that about my own history. Like literally,
it doesn't get taught, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I love
history begins in about sort of Industrial Revolution, and it ends about 1945.
Yeah.
The war.
You have to learn about the war.
We won.
But then they teach you about the war, but they don't tell you
the war.
Yeah.
The only war.
Yeah.
The only war that we've been involved in.
Yeah, I know, right? But they don't teach you anything about the contribution of colonial territories in the war. First shot ever fired in the First World War was in a German possession, and first shot and the last shot in World War One when they ended were both in Africa. Both in Africa, and nobody fucking knows that.
I thought it was it depends. Well, how would you?
Well, there's Victory in Europe Day, and there's victory elsewhere. Fighting actually continued on colonial property.
Suppose it's where you define the start, because obviously it's like assassination of Franz Ferdinand's like the thing that's like it kicked off.
But even after like peace was arranged, I think it was in Togoland. I can't remember exactly where, but definitely first and last shots in the First World War were in Africa.
There you go.
But
fun fact.
Like when I was in high school, and I loved history, I had a great history teacher. My only memories of being taught about the British Empire was like literally, we went out and there was some missionaries and they, tried to
spread Christianity
in Africa, and it was a lot about like migration of like British people elsewhere. It was like, the Irish went here, the Irish went to America, and the Scots, they did loads of stuff in Africa,
Canada,
and whatever.
And stuff like
but
that,
it was just swept over. Like you weren't told how the British Empire was created. Like, it is really complicated, but like, you're never taught what indirect rule was, or like how we used like the force that we used to make these countries succumb to us. It was just, oh, there's the British Empire. Like, I think primary school children could tell you now that there was a British Empire and it was the biggest empire.
Bigger than Rome.
Ever. Yeah, like we owned a massive expanse.
Which is where that phrase
world.
came from, the sun never sets.
Yeah.
It's like, for those who don't know, think of the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
Right? The mini Olympics. We used to own all of them.
Yeah, for 400 years. 400 years. And it just, like in school, it's like, oh yeah, we just had an empire. It's like, well, you're never actually told why, how, and then how it ended. Like, genuinely, it's next door's cat. Genuinely, my thought process when I got a little bit older and into high school, and I remember doing modern studies and being taught about like despotism in Africa, like in the 80s, and you know, like all the terrible rule of Mugabe and like Idi Amin and stuff, and like I remember a teacher actually told me that like actually a lot of these countries were better off under British rule, and it's just, you totally disregard the complexities of that, and I just think it's insane that we are not taught it. And then the very brief understanding that we do have of it is from like documentaries about, oh look, here's us building some railways in India, here's us going on an expedition to Everest and trying to get our way into Tibet, and
here's
like,
us building some camps.
Yeah, like none of that is shown. Like you have so much of a focus on World War II and like the evil of Nazism when, in my period in Kenya, less than 20 years later, British built detention camps and tortured people and sexually assaulted them, and it's just
Churchill
just
wasn't
left
a nice
sitting
man.
there. Churchill was a fucking terrible man. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. Goes around and get my dog in.
But
BRB.
BRB. So your first offering, we are going with the British Empire then.
Yeah, we are.
Freya. Come on, Freya.
Freya. I'm gonna give it a chew.
Give her a chew.
See if that helps. Sorry. Oh no, I can't.
She couldn't even be in the room when you were talking about it. It's that
I know.
upsetting for her.
Can't get rental is the only thing.
So yeah, I feel like that's fair. We can put the British Empire in room 01382.
Yeah.
It's not a great thing, was it?
But specifically people thinking that it was bad.
Okay.
That it
You
was
can
good.
you can okay the wording with me when I'm editing it, and it'll just get chucked in.
I just think that it would be really nice. You know, and like discussions about whether it was good or bad are they're not very helpful. Like either way it happened. So like trying to debate whether it was good or bad, or like historians and people in the media and stuff love like a balance sheet approach where like, okay, here's the bad stuff, but there was also good stuff. But like, it happened, and acknowledging that it happened and then engaging in discussions about it, more in-depth discussions about what actually happened, who was involved, and the like repercussions and the consequences of that. Like, the empire is why we have a multicultural Britain. Like, when you were part of the Commonwealth, there was, up until 1962 with the Commonwealth Immigrations Act, anybody from the empire could move to the UK. You could move to anywhere else in the Commonwealth. And like after the Second World War, Britain was in disarray and it needed workers. It needed people for the newly established welfare state. It needed people to build up the economy. So they called for people from the empire, and it was Southeast Asians and Indians and that came to our rescue. It's the Windrush scandal. It's why people came from the West Indies and the Caribbean to support their mother country. So like the empire and the good and bad things that happened.
They all need to go back home.
Yeah, they all need to go back home now. But like that happened. Everything that we have in this country now, which is a cause of like racial tensions and all these discussions about like pulling down statues and memorializing empire and not talking about it and being proud of it or whatever, like
it's the wrong attitude.
It's the wrong attitude. You need to just talk about it and have a bit of compassion for people who are in this country and are of like a different ethnic background or whatever, and like to use words of many historians, that they are here because we were there.
Yes, exactly.
So that.
And a lot of families that now have been here for the best part of 80 years, as you were saying.
They're British.
Yeah.
Like, they have different ethnic backgrounds or whatever, but like somebody who's from Pakistan and lives in Glasgow all their life is still as much British as we are, and they're just as much Pakistani as that. You don't have to be one thing, you know? So It's my tirade about Empire.
Yeah. You've got your American in you, I've got my Polish.
Yeah, exactly.
The world is a
It's a
cocktail.
big melting
Yes.
pot. Yeah.
That's more modern studies going on.
Yeah, a little bit.
But aye, so I feel like I would be a bit of a cunty way to start if I said no, that's not getting in. That's not a bad thing. So we'll put it in.
Yeah, thank you.
So what is your? This is your challenge. This is your challenge to get everything in.
Right. Okay.
So what's your second offering for room 01382?
We're getting less highbrow now. That's the only one. So. I like going to the gym. I love weightlifting. It's great. Everybody should be healthy.
A fitness Instagram.
I do have a fitness
More plugs,
Instagram.
plug away.
Laz Havana lifts. Sometimes lift heavy things. But I'm gonna put the brackets around this one as just general idiotic behaviour in the gym.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly, right. Throwing weights around. As in, finishing your set and just going, oh, you know what? I don't need these. I'll throw them over there. 80 kilos. Oh, I mean, not 80, but 20 kilos. Hey. Also, shut up.
Yeah, I was going to say. It's like when people go,
A little grunt, right? With a PB or anything. Fair enough.
Give us your grunt. What's your gym grunt?
Right, it's fine. I get it. If you're lifting 150 kilos or whatever, like, you do a reasonable grunt, right? But if you're shoulder pressing 10 kilos and you sound like you're about to ejaculate, get the fuck out. Also, put your weights away.
Oh, is that?
Put your weights away.
I thought that was quite common, though.
Oh, it's really common, but just put them away. Like, it's really
That's
common
what
to
the
people.
rock's for.
Yeah, but like, just, it's really not that difficult. If you can't put your weight away, what are you lifting it for? And also, like, gyms are clubs. Like, you're paying membership to be there or whatever, but like, other people have to use that stuff. So throwing it around and being disrespectful of someone else's property just tells me that you're a terrible human being and you don't have any respect for anybody else's things. Why should you get to pick up a weight and just throw it on the floor? Obviously, there's 2 people in my gym that do this and they really annoy me. But like,
do you feel like they're doing it to like show off to like just other people there, or just because they're being wanks, or
kind of a bit of both? I think they're
attract
really
potential mates.
I don't know if it's that, but I think it's honestly a lot of these people. I think it's for other men, not necessarily for women. Like, oh, I'm a man. It's like, you just look like a dick. Like, you just look like a horrible person who just doesn't care. And also, like,
are these people wearing very small vests?
No,
like
they are
extra
wearing
medium.
No, they're just wearing like normal gym clothes, But they do occasionally go and flex in the mirror, and I'm like, stop.
It's like the wee selfies. Like,
yeah, and I'm like, everybody takes a photo, it's fine, but just like loads of the weights in the gym that I go to are damaged now, and like, also it's dangerous. Like, Drew was spotting me the other day when I was doing a bench press, and this guy just like came down with something with dumbbells and just threw them, and they honestly nearly hit Drew, and it's like, you're going to injure somebody, like, why? Why? I just don't get it. Like, is it just ignorance? Did they not know that that's not what you're supposed to do? Because there's signs everywhere, or are they just like, I'm too cool.
Overly macho bullshit.
Yeah, I just get it in the bin.
What is it like in your gym with people like trying to take videos of themselves doing stuff? And I know why some people do it. Like, people will do it if they've maybe got like an online personal trainer and they're like, I'm doing this set. Yeah. Is my form okay? And stuff like that. But you obviously and that's fair enough. But I know, like, I saw a video today online of some guy, this poor guy. He's like just sitting in a sort of a chair like this, or well, not like this, but like a gym chair.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to do curls, sitting on this bench or whatever that's set up like a chair. And there's this RC girl just like over him going, oh, can you like basically like, can you fuck off? I'm trying to do like a video for my Instagram. And he's like, I'll move, but I'm here.
Yeah,
like,
I'm doing my set.
Can I just do my set and I'll go away? Oh, but I've just like set up my video camera over there. He's like, all right, I didn't know that. But I didn't know you were because like you weren't in the thing to do the exercise. Yeah. He's like, and there's literally this like a 3-minute video. I was very bored on my lunch today. Yeah. 3-minute video of just this back and forth argument, and I'm like, and then he points out at one point, you do know that if you weren't arguing with me for the last couple of minutes, I would have finished my set and gone away. Yeah. And like you'd filmed this in.
Like, if you want to film like a full like workout in the gym or whatever, and like that's you're gonna be an influencer or your PT or whatever, like, go to the gym at a really quiet time to do that, or hire out a private gym. Like, there are spaces to do that. Like, people do film in my gym. Like, I film sometimes, but like
for your fitness Instagram.
No, like, it's for form because I have a dodgy back and stuff like that, and sometimes it is really handy because sometimes like your form does slip and you can prevent injury and whatever, but like I don't think that many people do it in my gym, but I actually think I respect the people more that do, because I know they're actually just like they're lifting, they're not just going in and throwing some weights around. Like,
so it's a similar way to what you've actually said about guys who are making noise or not. There's good and bad ways to do things.
Yeah.
Etiquette.
Yeah.
Like in every situation.
Yeah. Like, just be a normal human being and be considerate of others.
What's like the worst example then of like guys just like chucking weights? Is it that guy that was like chucked that thing and nearly hit Drew? Or like the loudest grunt for the least amount of weight?
Well, it's
or, like...
literally 2 days ago. We went about, it was on Sunday, I think, Saturday maybe. Went in the afternoon, these two guys were there, and like they were so loud that I have noise cancelling headphones and I could hear them over them, right? And we went to a different part of the gym, and like several people were like crossing from one bit of the gym to the other, and we all were making eye contact, like. Like we never speak to other people in the gym really, right? But we spoke to like 2 people that were also just like,
what are these guys?
Somebody on a treadmill. My treadmill's in the gym or in the other room. Somebody on the treadmill with headphones on. We like when we were using another machine, we could see them turning around, being like,
"What's going on?"
Noise, and it's like, and it's also distracting because sometimes it's annoying, other times it's funny. It kind of depends what mood you're in, right? But today it was funny. Like that day it was funny, but like it's really distracting if you've got really heavy weight and someone's like, no! Like, honestly, that's what it's like.
It's just like,
you're like it's just, oh god, stop. So yeah, I could get them. If I could put them in their own room and just set it on fire.
You know, one day you're going to be there without Drew, and then one of them's going to come over and be like, "Hey," start taking the picture in the mirror beside you. "Hey, did you see that big weight I just lifted?"
I'll be like, yeah, pick it up.
Put it back in the fucking rack.
I just have no time for it. I'm like, go away, man.
So RC gym dudes are going in.
Just anybody that doesn't have any respect for property, etiquette, common sense.
Yeah.
And
have a bit of respect.
Yeah. I'm in the British Empire, like, fuck off.
I bet those are the guys that were on like the front line in the Empire.
Yeah.
You're like teaching these like
poor railways.
Teaching these poor Indian guys how to lift properly.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, Freya.
I can agree with you on that. We'll chuck them in.
Good. So far.
2 for 2 so far.
Yeah.
Can you make it a hat trick?
Right.
What have we got next?
Right. The whole process of flying.
Oh, I forgot that you hate flying. So for context, Lauren's probably the most well-travelled woman I've ever met in my life, but you fucking hate flying.
Hate it.
So how does that work?
You know what? I used to be okay. I've never loved it. I've never been one of these people who's like, oh, it doesn't bother me. I'm just in a big tube in the sky.
With filled with other people's farts and bad food.
I've never liked it, but I wasn't terrified of it until, like, I flew back from America and stuff. Like, flew back on my own. It's fine. But I had a really bad flight on the way to Romania. We just hit an air pocket and the plane just went poof. But like, because it was a budget airline, they didn't say anything. And to be fair, I don't think it helps because now I have flying anxiety. I have a lot of pointless knowledge about planes and how they work.
Do you watch a lot of like Aircraft Investigation?
No.
But like, well, I know what we're doing after we film watching it.
We've done a lot of Googling of like, oh, can turbulence kill you? But like, you know, the back of the plane, you get the worst turbulence because it.
Is it not the safest part of the plane though? Back of the plane?
I don't know. I know that you get
sure
the least amount of turbulence if you sit over the wings. Okay. So we always book seats over the wings. But I'm getting better because part of my PhD, I'm going to have to go to Kenya. And I'm going to have to go to Kenya on my own. And that is a very long flight. And I don't want to be sitting there.
Do you go direct? Do you have to go to London and then go or what?
There's a few ways I could do it. If I go to London, I can go direct to Nairobi. I think I can go Edinburgh and then London, or Edinburgh and Amsterdam.
Alright. Oh, Schiphol.
But,
always count on Schiphol.
Oh yeah. But when we flew to Dublin in the summer, I sat in the seat behind Drew.
Oh.
For a full 45 minutes.
Big boy flight.
That was fine. But yeah, no, I just ever since that flight, I thought I was gonna die. Like, and it wasn't even that bad. It was just irrational, like, fear, anxiety. What on earth is that cat doing?
The airports like make it worse for you because you have to be there for ages before. Does it build up or?
You know what? The other parts of what's that cat doing?
What are you doing?
I just see his shadow. I'm like, is he fighting? Wait a minute. Sorry. What are you going for my dinosaur Christmas decoration?
I can't have that.
No, he's not.
He's fine. Because obviously it's not like turning up for a bus and you just get on and then
Yeah,
just deal
I mean,
with it.
the airport thing is more of the the inconvenience and the hassle, right? Because you know how they're like, gotta be here 2 hours before your flight.
Yeah.
No, you don't, right? No. But the time that you don't is when there's a problem.
It's you have to bank on it not being busy.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And if there's strikes and stuff, which has been
security
pillaging our whole
can either be really
world,
easy or really
yeah.
long.
But so like that is stress. Like the whole process of like going through security, right? If it's going through security isn't a surprise, right? These people, they're like, oh, I forgot you couldn't take a litre of milk.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I've put all my...
I've not got a bag. I've not got a wee clear bag.
My hair gel's in my rucksack. Oh, no.
I'm like, oh my God.
What about my 2 litre bottle of Volvic?
Or, if your bag is totally fine and it still beeps and not, and you're like, I don't know, it's not drugs. It's not drugs.
It's not drugs.
Like, that's just stressful. Then Drew, bless him, he always says he's profiled, right? Poor cis white man. He does get picked to go through like, oh, have you got any explosives and drugs on you?
Goth metalhead looks dodgy.
Oh, to be fair, he always does get picked. On both ends, he always is. He's got to go into the and the scan your whole body, see if not got anything up your arse. So that's annoying because that takes extra time.
You're just there. It's not drugs. It's not drugs.
Alright, hey, I'll meet you at spoon. And then you get through, and then you've got to take your wee shitey fucking tray thing onto like some kind of half podium, like a voting booth. And then you got to put everything back in your bag. And then you're roasting for some reason, even if it's winter, bloody sweating. Then you're like, right, we're done now. What will we do? We'll go through duty free. It's never ending.
We when I was going on my stag in the summer at Krakow, I got beeped. I was the only one that got beeped typically, and I was waiting to get my big tray out. Mm-hmm. And there was an American guy in front of me, big, classic, like really tall, older guy. And he was just fucking outraged at the fact that he had to wait just a bit longer to get his bag back. And I've never seen anyone so absolutely fuming over what is essentially a mild inconvenience. You're having to wait an extra 2 minutes. Yeah. But he was hating the airport process completely. I'm just I know there's nothing wrong with me, but I've beeped, so let's just get on with it. He was not having it. He was not having it at all.
The whole thing is just a nightmare. And then you go through...
never-ending duty-free. Have you ever bought anything duty-free? I'm struggling to think if I ever have.
But not for me. Yeah. But that's mostly on the way back because we're not in the EU anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, I don't think... Not, especially not on the way out, because what's the point?
Yeah. And the annoying thing is, because obviously it's it's tax-free shopping, happy days. Obviously they're clever and they don't actually put anything that you would normally buy.
Price,
it's all... But it's not even that, but it's do you want a massive Toblerone? Or do you want
pencil case.
Really expensive perfume or aftershave or Ray-Ban glasses.
It's stuff to look at and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice, have a sniff. And you're like, right, what will we do? Well, we'll have a drink. Mm-hmm. And then, where do you gotta go? Weatherspoons. And we fucking hate Weatherspoons.
Not in Edinburgh, I can go to Brewdog.
Yeah, there is a few other ones in Edinburgh now, which is fair. But and then you go and you wait. Or if you eat, because you're like, well, it depends what time I'm going to arrive in my destination, am I going to be hungry? So you tend to eat. Food in the airport's always shit.
Oh, here, I found my new place in Edinburgh Airport. Bar Burrito.
Oh yeah, I know where that one is. We normally eat at the All Bar one or at the Brewdog.
Yeah. Oh, you get food at the
Yeah, they do a couple of things, because that's what we did last time. But it's just a pain. It's always expensive. Mm-hmm. Food's crap. To be fair, Edinburgh Airport, they have a water bottle station, so if you take a water bottle with you, you can fill it up.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they've got just a tap, basically. Scotland, you can just drink tap water. Yeah. But then you've got, you do the thing as well, you're like, right, where's the gate? And you wait for your gate to go up, right? And then the gate goes up and you just go to the gate to make sure it exists. Mm-hmm. Right, so you do that. And then, if you're flying on a budget airline, you're like, are we going to be delayed? Mm-hmm. Who knows? And
then they tell you it's boarding, but in reality...
Boarding!
In reality, they're not boarding for another half an hour.
There yet.
And then when you eventually get on the plane,
you
don't actually leave for another half an hour.
Yeah. And so that process of we're boarding, and then because most people have priority boarding now with these budget flights, because you get the bags and
speedy
stuff.
Boardings are, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's not real. Because like you said, most people get it now.
Yeah, most people get it now because you get bags in your seat included and whatever. Yeah. So you don't know where to line up, and then I'm also I need to pee, but I want to wait to pee till just before we're getting on the plane.
Hannah does that.
Because even though I will pee on the plane because I have anxiety. So then you get the time where you're bored, but you just stand in a corridor.
Yeah, the corridor's good. When you're you're in a corridor for no reason. You're like half, like you're all snaked up the stairs and all that. It's like why I could still be in the pub, drinking my overpriced
in
beer.
Summer, roasting. In winter, freezing. And then I need to pee again because I've peed 10 minutes ago and I've been drinking and I'm nervous. And then you finally get on the plane and they're like, right, you go to the back stairs, you go to the front stairs, right? So you line up on the stairs for the 2 cabin crew at the start to go, hiya. Don't even tell you where to go with your seat. I remember when they used to be like, oh yeah.
It's like the old Michael McIntyre bit back when he was still a bit funny.
Yeah.
And he would be like, row 5, straight down there.
Yeah.
row 29, straight down there.
Yeah, like no, you just gotta find it for yourself. And then everybody's standing with their wee bags, and you're like, oh right, okay, and then shoving it in the thing, and then you look, you go the one above your seat. Oh, there's no space. There's got a seat in front of you, and you're like, oh great, 3-hour flight with my bag at my feet, and then the plane, you get ready to go, but then you sit on the runway for 20 minutes, and then I'm like, we're just
waiting for a little pocket of space here to take off.
And then you're like, well, now I need to pee, but we're going to be taking off. So then you're sitting, you finally take off, and I'm like, ow.
That's the thumbnail, right?
And then I'm like sitting with my headphones in and my switch, just like, okay, it'll be fine. You can go and pee when the light goes off. Finally, when you reach altitude, bing, light goes off. Everybody's getting up to pee because everybody's in the same boat.
The trolley's out straight away. So
and then trying to pee when the trolley's out. Dear God! That's just the flight.
Can't get past, right?
Excuse me. Or people go past you if you're on the aisle. I'm on like the window. If you're on the aisle, people grabbing onto the head seats. I guess so you're like. And then if there's turbulence, I'm like, I'm gonna die. And then, like, I always listen to the whatever they're saying when they do the bing boom because I'm like, I'll be crashing.
I need to know. I won't realise that we're going down unless I hear the announcement.
So I'm on the flight. I've got one headphone out, and they're like, hello there, yes, we're going to be coming around with the trolleys. You get your
I have no idea what airline you're talking about.
And you're just like, and they're going to be like, we've got 3 for the price of 1 on Kylie Minogue's perfume.
But they can't sell that because copyright.
But it's just, for fuck's sake. And that's if you've not got any wankers on your flight. They'd be like, da, 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 da. Fuck that off to start with.
What was that song?
Don't know. That's if you're going somewhere a little bit.
Bucharest away.
Yeah. But that's fine. But like, yes, okay. So then you're landing, right? 40 minutes before you're due to land, and they come down, put your tray tables up, get your window, and you're like,
say your Hail Marys.
And then now Ryanair have done this thing. Like at the end, like just when they're gonna land, they come over and they're like, remember that your life jacket is under the seat in front of you. And I'm like, why are you telling me that now?
We're not near water.
I'm going down.
I forgot to say it in the safety briefing.
Coming in with their bin bags, got any rubbish? You try to give them rubbish, just fucking ignore you.
Would you like to donate to charity so we can write it off?
It's just fuck it. And then they basically drop you, let's face it, back. And then, as soon as the one wheel hits the floor, oh thanks, get off now!
Do you know what I like as well, especially with those sort of airlines, is they usually will like have the boom boom boom. Oh, we'd like to welcome you into like insert European city here. Got here 20 minutes early, and it's nothing to do with the fact that we overestimated how long the flight would be by about 40 minutes, so we can get our stats up.
Yeah.
And you always get the wankers who are like, oh, well done for landing.
Yeah, oh, fucking clapping, pack that right in. You've done your job!
Yeah. I remember I was on holiday in Greece once with Mum and Dad, and sorry Americans, it was you again. There was this beautiful spot on this island we were on where they had a world famous sunset, and they applauded the sunset. It was like, oh, well done, God. That was a fucking cracker.
That is next level madness.
Holiday makers, man, they're great. But yeah, you're right. As soon as the plane lands, everybody's feels the need to stand up.
Yeah.
Sometimes Hannah brought it to me. Do you want to get up? And I'm just, we're not going anywhere.
But
yet.
yeah, you can't. What's the point? Like, you need to at least wait until the row in front of you is cleared, and then you get up, get your bags, and get off. But then you can't even get off the plane because everybody's shuffling. Then you get off the plane, and if you're lucky, you just onto some tarmac and you walk into the terminal building, and it's great. European cities generally, airports are decent. But then sometimes put you on a fucking bus. You get on the bus. crammed in, roasting, sweating.
Or you have to wait for the big sky tunnel.
Yeah.
So that takes ages as
That's
well.
only in the US and stuff. I've not had one of them in ages. And then you get on the bus for 10 minutes and you get punted through passport control and everybody's shuffle. And then
got
you're
a
finally
case?
there. Yeah, you've got a case, got to go get your bag. And then you've got to either try and find your rental car desk to pick up your rental car, which is nowhere to be fucking found, or they've gone home. Or you've got to try and find the way. You're like, oh, but it says buses this way to city centre. Oh, we'll go this way. I found the exit, but where's the buses? Where's the buses? Where's the training? Where's all the transport links this airport is boasting about? Who the fuck knows? And then your phone's not connected because you're in a new country and your fucking network's like, oh, welcome to EE Netherlands, and it just won't load, so you can't get Uber the whole thing until you're in your, and then you've got to check in your hotel, give them your passport, and then they take it away for a bit too long.
Some tourist tax. Lots of tourist tax.
Like it's only fine when you're in your hotel room and you're just lying on your bed.
Like, oh.
The whole like 18-hour experience up
of
until
travelling.
that point, fucking put it in the bin.
So we're putting the experience of travelling
So
by
what, travel?
aeroplane.
Yeah.
Travelling
Yeah.
by aeroplane.
Yeah.
Into
If I could just go, you know where I want to go in 2 weeks' time? Spain.
teleport.
Right, on that day, 10 a.m. Right, you got everything, right, let's go. Boom,
Done.
Spain. That's what I want.
Will we have teleportation before we die? Hopefully.
But it would be nice.
But there you go. So we're putting the sort of experience of travelling by plane
Yep.
in a room 113
Inefficient.
in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do it better.
I mean, I don't have the capacity for that, but I certainly think that it's not being done correctly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I agree with you.
Thank
there was
you.
annoying things. There's a wee story I was going to tell you. I don't know if I told you this already. You were going to mention about when you pick up your bags at the end. Hannah and I were on a honeymoon, and we just got to Cyprus. We're in the airport in Paphos, waiting for the bags to come out. And we were waiting quite a while. One of our bags was one of the last ones off the plane. Typically, when it comes through the wee sort of, the chute, when it comes through the thing, it just appears like a prize on a game show, and it just gets stuck in between the conveyor belts.
Okay.
We're fucking typical. Great. We're gonna have to wait for the guy to come and fix it. No, this like random guy just suddenly decides to start like yanking at our case to try and like get it unstuck, because by this time it's like created a sort of pile up behind.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on the guy to like stop the conveyor belt and come and fix it. And he ends up like ripping the badge off the front of the case. And I was like, see, that's fucking ruined that fucking case. I fucking paid for that to come on this holiday. And I'm just like, mate, I shouted over, mate, what are you doing? He was like, and I'm like, I don't even have the energy to argue. But it's like, why are you so impatient and even just stupid?
Yeah.
You couldn't even think, I should probably wait for a guy whose job it is to fix this.
Come and deal with this. People, honestly,
I should have
they
sued
lose.
him.
The other thing about airports and travelling is like people lose all sense again of like common decency, and also when they forget that like, okay, you're flying and you're probably flying to go on holiday, right? Because the majority of people fly for that purpose in this country, right? But like they're so selfish and like, this is my holiday, and it's like, you're on public transport.
Yes, yeah.
Like
People
literally.
forget that. I think people forget
It's
that.
like, it's not all about you. You know what I mean? It's not just like, I'm going on my henny. Like, you're on a bus in the sky.
An Airbus.
Like, literally. So why, like, just fucking wait your turn.
Yeah.
Just wait.
I think we'll need to stop talking about planes before you get more pissed off.
Yeah.
But they can get chucked in the bin.
Yeah,
They can get chucked in the room.
Yeah.
You never have to worry about them again.
Good.
They're in the bad area.
Good.
Don't have to worry about things
No.
in the bad area.
Good.
So what's next? 3 for 3. Going for
Right,
4 out
3.
of 5 so far.
Okay. I'm gonna let out again. Sorry. Go outside then, you're fine. Oh,
Frey, you don't know what you want, do you?
What do you want?
This is the life of a dog owner.
She just wants attention, as well. Yeah. Right, number 4. I am a big goth.
You are a big goth.
I'm a big
Despite
goth.
your sort of autumnal.
Yeah, I have 3
appearance these
personalities,
days, yeah.
and they are like.
When I met you, you were a big goth. Permission to put a photo of you when I met you when you were a big goth.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at that hair! Just keeps going.
But,
How much hairspray did that take?
oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I moved as one.
Right.
Um.
Because I didn't know that your hair actually moved.
Yeah, it does now.
It does now, yeah.
Yeah, I
Didn't
never
used
used
to.
to when I was younger. But yeah, 3 personalities: academic stuff, books, autumnal shite, the gym, and being a big goth.
She's a big
Right. So go to gigs all the time. Love a bit of heavy metal. Love a bit of hard rock, alternative. You know, I like other stuff. My favourite band is Death Havana. Check them out.
They're doing. Is it 2 Scottish states?
Two Scottish states, and in my university town.
Edinburgh and Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Oh, and in Exeter.
And in Exeter. So woo! And
start stalking them
2
again.
weeks. It's like 10 days after the Scottish show, so I could probably go to Exeter as well.
You know, it's probably the same set every show, right?
No, they changed a couple of songs, but yeah, I mean, this isn't my first rodeo. Right.
When they know you're going to multiple shows, oh fuck, got to change the set list.
Six long again. But yeah, so like going to gigs, like having a great time. But one thing that I will put in the room is crowd surfing.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Is this
hate it.
strictly crowd surfing, or does this include members of the band jumping into the crowds?
I have never seen a member of a band.
Is it only in
jump in a
films that
crowd.
happens?
Yeah,
Only in films.
like Jack Black in School of Rock. That's it. Literally, I have never seen anybody do that.
Superhands does it
Because it's dangerous. And also, they have equipment. They have, like, in-ears and mics and, like, ooh. Like, there's not only a barrier and,
Aye.
like, staff. That are, like... But there's multiple reasons for this, right? One, security staff don't like it, right? Most venues don't like it. There's signs in loads of venues that are like, don't crowd surf. Because, guess what? It's dangerous. Right? And I love a mosh pit. I've been known to come out of mosh pit retirement, throw myself in there if the mood strikes, right? It's pretty rare because I'm old now, right? And like, most people are pretty courteous, and against all perceptions, like, metal and rock fans are pretty nice, and they're pretty friendly, and metal gigs are a nice environment. But crowd surfing, it just fucking ruins the atmosphere, and you spend the entire gig looking behind you after it. Because like, if you're just enjoying it and you don't expect it, and then you get a boot on your fucking head, ow.
Or somebody's arse.
Yeah, and you're suddenly like this. If you've got a drink, say goodbye to your fucking beer that you spent £8 on a venue. But like, I fucking hate it. And it's, again, lack of courtesy. And some people, like, they just like climb onto people to get up and expect you to throw them up. So it's like, right, well, now you're on my fucking head. But like, it does. I think it just ruins the atmosphere. And like at the festival that we went to, Bloodstock, right? Band called Bury Tomorrow.
This is the one you're on zero sleep on because you have to go all the way outside.
Yeah, but that was on the Friday. On the Sunday, it was fine. But band called Bury Tomorrow. Me and Drew and our friend Callum went to go and see them, and we kind of got to like pretty near the barrier. And then the lead singer was like, "Oh, I want to break the record for the amount of people getting over this barrier crowd surfing." And I was just like,
"Why?
Fuck off!" So for this whole song, it was absolutely relentless, and like. Metal fans are generally big men. So just like big men throwing themselves on you. And literally the whole song, you just spent turning the other way, bracing. And like my friend Callum was like behind me, and like it seemed like it stopped. And honestly, I turned and I just saw a boot coming right for his neck. And it would have fucking gone right there. So then you end up injuring yourself, trying to protect people. And like, just makes me angry. And I'm just like, okay, I get it, be rowdy and stuff. But like, especially when bands are like, "Oh, let's all crowd surf." I'm like, listen, do we have to? Is this necessary? It's really annoying. It hurts. See the amount of bruises and stuff I've gotten from just like being battered by crowd surfers.
Is that work? Have you got more bruises from that than mosh pits?
Yeah,
really?
Because
so
people
you wouldn't
just
think that.
drop on you and stuff. Like mosh pits aren't that bad. Like, because you just kind of, and you can kind of come out when you want. And the thing with mosh pits, if you fall over, if somebody falls over, like somebody will pick you up. Like. People will make sure you're not hurt. Like, I see it all the time. Some people, like, if people aren't into crowd surfers or whatever, enough people haven't noticed, people will just drop and you will just fall, or you'll take them somebody much smaller with you. Like, people go under, and then that's the gig over, because most bands, if there's something going on, they stop, which is right. But I'm just like, is it necessary? And we went to Alcatraz in Belgium, and we were seeing a band called Violence, and there was a guy in a wheelchair who crowd surfed, right? Really cool, like, we're all like, yeah, that's great, we're all super, like, yeah, inclusivity, whatever. Did it fucking 3 times.
Okay.
I was like, right.
Milked it a bit.
Right. Once.
So you're going to put them in a wheelchair and remove them.
No, but I'm like, right, mate. Like, anybody going over 3 times, I'm like, see if I see the same person again, I'm like, I'm going to fucking punch you as you go past. But like, I just don't get it. Everyone always says to me, "Oh, have you never crowd surfed?" I'm like, no, because I'm not a dick.
Has it always annoyed you then?
Always.
Has there never been a point where
Always
you've like,
annoyed me.
alright?
I've hated it ever since I was young. And like I was never really scared of mosh pits or whatever when I was like an early teenager. Because they can be quite scary. Like I guess I've seen a few. Like when me and Drew used to go and see Machine Head and stuff that I was just like, oh you fucker, I'm not going anywhere near that. Like, but mosh pits are fine, but crowds were fun.
What's the technique in a mosh pit?
It depends. Some people like when people just spread out. You know when you feel.
You see that in videos like everyone fucking spread over there, and everyone fucking running at each other.
But mosh pits when it just spreads out and then you wait for the drop in the song and everybody just runs in. But quite a lot of it actually is people. If it's a circle pit, people just running around in a circle. It's kind of funny actually. Just like all this like wee. Are you in now?
Almost a gay Gordon's.
Pretty much a metal gay.
Metal gay Gordon's.
But yeah, just never liked it. Don't think it's necessary.
Does it spoil? If it could potentially spoil everyone's enjoyment.
Yeah.
If a gig gets stopped.
Yeah.
Then I think that alone's probably justification to pop it in.
Dangerous. Funnily enough, throwing yourself on people.
Especially if you're in a wheelchair. That's gonna hurt someone.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't hate that guy, you know, I'm not gonna fuck that guy in the wheelchair, but...
Warcock is putting the disabled metal fan in remote 3.
3 times, though. 3 times. No thanks.
Right, we'll chuck that in as well.
Yeah, you're in agreement?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I'd hate it if I was at a gig. Like, imagine, like, Oasis got back together.
Yeah.
The big reunion gig at, like, Wembley or wherever, or
Yeah.
Manchester or something.
Yeah.
And then some prick, like, falls and breaks his leg.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh... Gig's delayed for an hour now while we like get the ambulance in or whatever.
Sometimes it's like gigs where you wouldn't even expect it. Like our friend Georgia, me and her went to see Death Havana when we were like 16, 17. And there's a really slow song called Untitled Chapter.
I legit think you were their number one fan for a while.
Yeah.
Because from what the impression I got anyway, because like it was like every few weeks, I'm going to see them in this city or that city.
I have a problem.
And you'd be like, oh, tell him that I've got a photo with the guy and he knows me by name.
Yeah, that was nice. But
what was his name? James.
James Galati.
James Galati.
And
Yeah.
Matt
I knew
Galati.
his name.
There's only 2 of them in the band now.
Was there?
Yeah.
2-piece now. What
Yeah.
happened?
The other guys left.
Oh.
But their new album is amazing. Present is a Foreign Land. I will push that until I die. But me and Georgia went to see them, and it's a song called Untitled Chapter, which is my favourite song ever. But it's quite a slow song. It does pick up, but like it is quite slow. And like I remember standing next to her, and like this guy just like genuinely just tried to pick Georgia up and like throw her like to crowd surf, and I was just like,
what you did?
genuinely, I'll tell you who it was because you know this person and I know them as well.
You tell me off camera.
But I was just like, fuck off, like why like in a slow song, like
Yeah, it's not the vibe.
what's the point? I just don't get
If you are going to do it, don't do it to
Yeah,
the slow, I'm assuming romantic song.
Yeah, I'm like, everybody just settle, you know? Yeah.
So there we go. What's your final offering then for
Right, my
the
final.
debut episode of Room 01382?
This one is one of my close friends will know that I'm about to say. Drew finds it very funny. But the thing I would put in the room is window cleaners.
Oh really? I just paid mine before I came over actually.
I
There's the guy that goes about the scheme cleaning windows.
fucking hate windows.
Why do you hate window cleaners? Do you clean your own windows?
No! Use me!
Your windows must be minging.
No.
Hannah was off at work today. She had her day off this week for the week, and she can confirm that he did clean the windows today.
Right, well, my window cleaners, right?
You're very cynical, Lon Cochrane.
My window cleaners, right? They come every Wednesday, every second Wednesday or every second Thursday. Who the fuck knows? Not me and not them. So...
Do you want like a sort of rota in place?
Yeah,
so you know
there's many things I want, right? Yeah. Right.
So we've fixed planes, right? We've fixed airports. We're going to fix window cleaners then.
Right. You know what? They don't even come at the same time every 2 weeks, right? Or the same day. They made a thing of telling us, right, we'll be coming on a Thursday now, and then proceeded to come on a fucking Wednesday.
My guy just turns up randomly. It's like, yeah, he's cleaning them, yeah. Okay.
But
it's only 5
because they come every 2 weeks, right? It's long enough for me to forget about them, but not like regular enough for me to be like, oh, I need to get money for the window cleaners, right? Also, they charge £4 a session, right? But they don't take cards, right? £4. They're like, oh, have you got £4? I'm like, no, I don't. No, I fucking don't have £4 because I don't have any cash. Because we live in a cashless society, and if I did have cash, I don't have £4.
Love how much this bothers me. It's mild inconvenience. This is what I want. This is exactly what I want.
really annoys me, right? And like the thing is, they don't knock on the door once, right? And I hear them coming, my fucking Spidey window cleaner senses, because I hear the clanging of the ladders, right? Mm-hmm. So they knock on the door to be like, hiya, we've arrived. Like,
or do you get a pre-wash?
Well, it's not that. See,
my guy just turns up and does it.
We have a close door to get around to these windows, right?
Package,
so we have a key.
Yeah.
So like,
he's got to get the key.
Yeah, so you knock the door to get the key. So I'm like, right, there's a fucking key, right? But quite often, you won't take the money at the same time.
No.
So
comes back
for the money
when the work is done,
and then gives me the key as well, right? So sometimes that's 3 knocks, right? And he goes through that door, right? And to get to the window right there, right? He moves on my fucking bins, right? I've got 4 bins. Doesn't put them back, right?
Why don't you move them to anticipate his arrival?
Because I've
you don't know when he's
got
coming.
a wife.
You don't know when he's coming.
He's coming. Get rid of my bins. So, and then doesn't even do my bathroom window because we've got an extension, right? Fair, fine. So comes in, messes up my fucking bins, doesn't even properly clean the windows, right? And then, so if they come when I'm working, right? I work in that room up the stairs. Yeah. So you've got to do the thing where like, you know the window cleaner's at the window cleaner can see you, but you just ignore them. Yeah. And it's just awkward because you like can't move away from computer screen because window cleaner man is here. But they also they have conversations with the other person doing the next house really loudly. Oh. So they're like, clean the window, like,
what's like, the best window cleaner conversation you've overheard?
I don't know, because I don't know what they're saying, because of the muffled window. Right?
Next time, tell me. Like,
okay, I'll make a thing of it.
Make an effort to.
So they clean the window, and it doesn't even look clean, I might add. Like, it just doesn't. It's just... So then.
Can you see out of it?
Yeah,
that's fine.
But you know what I mean. So, and then they go back around and they slam that door, so the dog's going mental, and then they'll knock on the door, give the key back, or if I've managed to give them the money and I don't need any change or whatever, they'll just put it through the letterbox. So that sends a big massive clang. Fine. But there's the times when I don't have any money and I'll go, oh, sorry, I've not got it. I'll give you it next week. But then, if you do it the next week, you know what you need? £8. And if you don't do it that week, you know what you need? Fucking £12.
Well, so did they not have change?
No, well, but I don't have any cash. Like, why don't they just get a card reader or bill me annually? Bill me annually. But you know why? Because it's cash in hand, and they don't want to deal with the other side of it, right? And
also, surely they're like declaring it.
I don't. Oh yeah. And also, right? They live in my fucking area. They live on the street next to this one, so I see them all the time. So I'm just reminded of their presence constantly, right? And also, they try and speak to you sometimes at the door, and they're just a bit fucking weird, and they're just like. Yeah, no, you're my window cleaner, fuck off. Yeah. Like, also, right, because they live on that street there, they do all these streets, right, and they have one bucket. Never does that bucket get cleaned out. So I'm like, thank you for charging me £4 to clean my windows, not very well, with manky water and fucking disrupt my house, knocking on the door 3 times, once every 2 weeks.
Would you be like reinvesting the profits into like getting more buckets?
Well, like, yeah, like, I just don't understand it. I'm like, are you doing the whole of Dundee with one bucket? I just don't understand, and I fucking hate them. And you know, I mean, I don't think it's worth it. But I'm like, how do you tell your window cleaners to fuck off?
You don't want them to
like, do you open it? Excuse me, we're done. I don't want you coming round here anymore.
It's not me, it's you.
How do you dump your window cleaner? But then also, like, if I get rid of them, like, will my windows be manky? Will I ever clean the windows? No, so I have to get another window cleaner. And then if they turn up, then they see them.
But it might be like the mafia. Like, they might not be able to encroach on each other, or drug dealers. Like, encroach on each other's
stuff. Street.
Yeah.
Like,
you're on my patch.
I don't understand it.
You normally do Whitfield. Exactly. Why are you doing Douglas?
Like, it's such a simple thing, but it's actually really complicated, and I just hate every aspect of it. I hate that they knock on my door multiple times. I hate that I've got to give them a fucking indiscriminate, stupid amount of money. I hate that they mess up my bins.
Would you rather pay more to have less of an inconvenience to just have a fiver? You always have a fiver in the house.
Yeah, but then I'm giving them £1 more to do something that I don't really want them to do, but society says I've got a window cleaner. I
mean, you don't have to. Like,
yeah.
I'm like you. Like, when I moved into my new place, you just kind of turned up one day.
Yeah, and you're like,
I'm the local one. And I thought, yeah, it saves me doing it. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. And I'm also like, see, because
I feel like I've got a much better relationship with the guy that does my windows than you have with
Oh
yours.
yeah, I really don't like them.
I feel like it's all you.
Yeah, it probably is all me. It probably is all
Why
me.
don't you give him like a wee spare key? Then he doesn't have to.
Because like, also, because they live in my area and I see them all the time, I'm like, you know where I live and you know what my house looks like all the time. And you've seen me in my... I went out the other day to put money on the windowsill and to put the key there so I didn't have to go through any of this, right? And I was still in my pyjamas. I wasn't in my pyjamas, I was in my dressing gown because it's winter and it's freezing and I'm not putting the heating on, right? And like, I was obviously making a thing of like sneaking out to put the money and the key out so that I didn't have to deal with them, right? And then he walked past, he's like, "Morning!" I'm like, I'm obviously trying to avoid having contact with you and you've made it that I've had contact with you. Like, you know what? I think they know. Like, I think they know that I don't like them. And I'm like, well...
Did Drew go on with them?
Drew doesn't really have an opinion. He thinks it's hilarious that I hate them so much. Everybody else thinks I'm irrational, but I think this is a pretty valid argument. I think they're obsolete. You know what they should do? They should get a big fucking pressure washer and just go over the street and I'd be happy. Get the firemen to do it. That'll solve the deficit. Get the firemen to come and clean everybody's windows.
So to clarify, you're just wanting to put window cleaners in?
Yeah.
I can't agree with that. Mine's lovely. You're so close to getting 4 out of 5 straight away, but...
What about my window cleaners?
I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I think it's you. I think you're the arsehole customer. I think that's what it is.
They're just annoying. Freya, stop barking. Come here. Yeah.
She's wanting attention.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up there then.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got nearly an hour out of that.
Yeah.
That's good. I knew you'd be a good first person to come on.
Well, I'll round it up.
Yeah, because you love a moan. So that is not getting in room 10382. But your first 4 options offerings are which were, Lauren?
People saying that the British Empire was a good thing.
Gone.
Throwing weights around in the gym and being an arsehole.
Done.
The whole process of flying.
No more.
Crowd surfing.
Don't have to worry about it anymore. It's gone.
Window cleaners.
I absolve you of your stress and sort of inconvenience. Yeah.
Oh God.
Feel better now.
Yeah.
And
This is where my window cleaners are going to turn up. They're going to start talking to me about the Empire, throw weights into my house.
I saw you on the Perfect Balance. I'm one of the few
Start
people.
crowd surfing.
Yeah, he's going to bring all his window cleaner mates. Sing When I'm Cleaning Windows. Was it Chaz and Dave that sung that?
I don't know, maybe.
He's going to crowd surf. He's going to play that on full blast while crowd surfing.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll
In a plane.
he'll have paper planes going about.
Yeah.
While wearing like a British Empire army outfit. And on that note, I'll say thank you for coming on.
That's alright. Thank you for
I dare
having
say
me.
we may do something like this again in the future because it's quite funny to have them on.
Got plenty of things to moan about.
And yeah, until next time, keep it balanced.
Hey.